What is up? Welcome into the Early Edge, powered by the almighty SportsLine. I'm your host, Alan Bell, and we're going to have a great show lined up for you. It is the Final Four. It has arrived. We are here. Two awesome games tonight between Villanova and Kansas, as well as the marquee matchup of North Carolina versus Duke. We're going to be live on our channel right here for both games, watch parties. So jump in, come join with us, grab yourself a beer, watch the game, talk some live bets, and do all that. All right, before we get to today, let's take a look at how we did yesterday. And, not great, man. 3-5. But you know what? I'll tell you what. We had some nice wins in there. M Squared coming strong again in the PGA Tour. My man is on fire there. Nice win at Fresno State, -3. Sabres plus 1.5 going there as well. The NBA continues to be crazy. I saw the totals last night. The Clippers, I think, scored 153 points on the road. Like, it's wildness now that, teams have clinched. So be careful there. And our man Calvin, tough one on Stanford, -1 last night against UConn. But got to give Calvin some props. He's had a heck of a run through the women's tournament. It's been fantastic. But tell you what, enough of me talking. Let's bring in the stars of the show. Gentlemen, looking strong. My man, Johnny Bowman. How we doing, brother?
I'm good, AB. Excited for MLB to finally start. Only a couple more days now.
We're almost there, man. Like, we got college baseball going. MLB's about to start. We're in the best part of college basketball. It is a great time for sports for sure. M Squared, back at you, brother. How we doing?
Doing well. Good morning, everybody. Like Johnny says, can't wait for baseball season. Everybody knows it's one of my favorite sports here. Got a bunch of new hats in the mail yesterday. Order new hats at the start of every season. Man, I'm fired up. Let's do it.
Dude, I love it, man. I can't wait for air density reports from you, man. That's my favorite thing in the world. Jay Smooth, my man, Justin Perry, it is your Christmas, dude. Final Four. I know you're fired up, man. How we doing?
I am fired up. I'm ready to go, AB. I can't wait to talk about these games. We have some big ones today. I got a lot of bets, too, so excited to get them all out there.
Yeah, I know you are. And I'll tell you what, we'll throw it right back at you here. Our storylines that affect the betting lines for today. And, yeah, coming to you, man. And quite honestly, like I said, it's your Christmas. Well, this topic is my Christmas. You got some Final Four nuggets for us, man. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I just wanted to dive in a little bit to this big marquee game, Duke UNC. It's what we're all excited for. Can't wait for the watch parties later tonight. Those will be a lot of fun. Throw some live bets out too. But UNC has won 3 of the last 4 games against Duke. But if you zoom out a little bit more, Duke won the 3 before that. So they're sitting at 4 of 7. So hard to get a grip based on the historicals. You know, there's been a lot going on with COVID and everything. But just a big tip of the cap today to Coach K. This man is just ridiculous. He has a 78% win percentage in his career, over 1,100 wins, 77% win percentage in the NCAA tournament. Only the ACC has been a little bit tougher, but man, this guy is good. I think it's going to be both favorites today if I really think about it, but I like both games to be kind of close. We'll see how they turn out.
Yeah, they're going to be 2 great games. And you bring up Coach K. It's funny, man, because like I was texting with some friends of mine. They were talking about, through the tournament, like Coach K going home, doing all this. I was like, going home, I was like, he's been at Duke my whole life. He's like the moon. Like, he was just there. You know what I mean? From like day one. I didn't even know he had a wife until the Sweet 16. Like, I thought he just lived at Duke. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm with you, man. Like, win or loss today, Coach K legitimately been a staple in probably all of our lives. Legit, like since watching the tournament, like as kids. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm with you there. I share that.
1980, he became the head coach. He almost quit because of a herniated disc, but he got surgery. He took some time off, and he said he would have given up if he didn't take that time off. He reprioritized, came back. He was an Army guy. What a career. Just awesome. I love it.
Unbelievable. And, came from Bobby Knight, too. Right? You know what I mean? So it's like he's got that fire in him, too. Like, not a lot of people can survive, under the Bobby Knight tutelage. And my man did for sure. All right, M Squared, coming over to you, my man. And you're taking a look. NASCAR Richmond this weekend. Break it down. What are you looking at?
Yeah, NASCAR at Richmond here. It's definitely shorter track racing, but I want to talk about the qualifying setup today. We have practice in about 25 minutes. Practice will start here. Each team gets 15 minutes on track. And then they will go out for a single car 2-lap qualifying session. The top 5 from each group will then come together, and those final 10 will race for the pole. But I really want to focus on Joe Gibbs Racing. They've really struggled so far this season with the new car. This is a track that they have historically dominated at. Joe Gibbs Racing has won 8 of the last 12 races here at Richmond. Really suits well, not only this track in general, but just shorter tracks like this really are good for Joe Gibbs in terms of the setup and the skill sets of the drivers that they have. So we're expecting a big bounce back here. If you're getting a much more friendly price on the Gibbs cars now because they've had an awful start to the season. So we'll see what they can do here in qualifying and then on race day tomorrow.
Man, look forward to that. All right, Johnny Bowman, throwing it back over to you. Taking a look at some early season Major League Baseball injuries to be aware of. Man, I can't wait for this one, man. Bring it down.
Yeah, so there were even a couple injuries that I didn't realize when I checked this out. And there probably are some more injuries that I'm not aware of now because the IL doesn't actually start until opening day. So you might find out about some injuries until then. So I wouldn't put some opening day bets in 2-3 days ahead of time. But that being said, we got a couple guys missing. Tim Anderson is suspended for the first 2 games, so that's something to keep an eye on before you just hammer the White Sox opening day. I believe they're at the Tigers, and that could be a great home underdog play. Jacob deGrom is now out until at least late May, and maybe even Max Scherzer could be out too. He has a hamstring injury. He hasn't been officially announced as the Mets starting pitcher, so the Mets could be in trouble already. Chris Sale is out until late May. So that's big for a Red Sox rotation that loses Eduardo Rodriguez at the top as well. So they don't have as much depth there. For the Reds, Luis Castillo is going to be out at least the first week. So that's not as serious, but don't expect him to make his first start. TJ Antone's supposed to be their closer this season. Maybe either him or Lucas Sims. TJ Antone's out for the season. So that's a big blow for the Reds who don't have much bullpen. Fernando Tatis Jr., we know he's out until about mid-June. Jack Flaherty for the Cardinals is out until about mid-May. Alex Reyes, the Cardinals closer, is out until about early June. So those are 2 huge pieces for the Cardinals. Look for Jordan Hicks to maybe get some saves at the beginning of the season. And then last, Lance McCullers is going to be out until early May. So a lot of big names going to be out that we need to be aware of.
Man, that's good info and just good advice in terms of, when the season begins, of not throwing, a ton of bets out way before the game, right? Like you said, 2-3 days before, don't do it. And side note, dude, I'm not a Mets fan at all, but can they just have one happy season? You know what I mean? We haven't even got to the season and they're already just facing it, just backs against the wall. Man, it's tough for them. I feel bad. All right, let's get into our plays for today. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave it at the quad screen right here because Jay Smooth, I'm going to want your advice here on it. Our site play, all right, we're going 1. North Carolina, first half, plus 2.5. Think it's going to be a tight game. Think it's going to be a fun game. Fascinated to see which team comes out hot. North Carolina certainly has been doing that. But, yeah, Jay Smooth, what do you think about this? I know it kind of correlates with some plays of yours that we'll get into here in just a minute. But, yeah, North Carolina, first half, plus 2.5.
Yeah, definitely, AB. I like this play a lot. I'm already going to be on North Carolina. If you've watched some of the coverage from this week, I am taking the +4 today as well. If you haven't yet, I still love it. I still think this game ends up a lot closer. I think the +2.5 works really well. With another play too, I'm going to be on the first half under. It's a risky one. It's a contrarian one. Everyone has this Duke UNC game going above, past the number, but I think it could be a little bit more defensive. This is a huge game. Wouldn't shock me if they come out a little emotional, a little cold, not really too focused, and get a little warmed up later. So yeah, I like it to stay close. I like it to stay close at the end of the first half for sure. If Duke's going to pull away, it's going to be at the end of the game. And yeah, so I definitely agree with the site play, and it correlates with some of the other stuff on my card today.
Nice. I like it. Yeah, I agree with you on that as well. All right, M Squared, coming over to you. And look, dude, it's the Final Four. I'm in a great mood. So we're going to give it the old coach touch here. So, M Squared, you know the drill, stud. Give it to me.
Impressive. I unfortunately don't have any additional college basketball plays, but we have another golf matchup, round 3 at the Valero Texas Open. Mito Pereira, -115 against Kevin Streelman. I like Mito in this spot. There's not a lot of name value. The name's actually kind of hard to pronounce for a lot of people. Kevin Streelman is a name that you are relatively familiar with if you follow the PGA Tour. That is a little bit of the source of the value here, but Mito has quietly become one of the best approach players on tour, currently rating 11th in strokes gained on the approach year to date, and he's been pretty good off the tee as well as a top 40 player. Where he has struggled has been around the greens, and that's what you go look at live strokes gained data. He's lost -1 stroke around the greens so far this week, gaining strokes in every other category. We're looking at something that we've seen exactly what we expect, and we like that. Obviously, he made the cut. He's T28 right now. We expect that to continue. I like him over Streelman here. My simulations make this one closer to -137.
Nice. I like it, man. You've been spot on so far in this tournament, and I can't wait to hear your Masters plays. I've already been reading it on the site, man. It's fantastic, and everybody's going to be fired up for that as well. KC says, that was kind of weak, AB. Look, dude, you know what? You're right. It was. It was. That's funny, man. I'll tell you what. There's a good question. KC dropped it here as well. I want to just quickly throw it. Anybody feel free to answer it. I just really like this one. Team that will make the most threes tonight in the Final Four. Jay Smooth, I'll throw it to you. And if you guys have any different picks, thoughts on it, feel free to jump in. But yeah, Jay Smooth, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's probably going to be Duke with how they play. I just maybe Villanova as a sleeper because they could find themselves at a deficit trying to get back in the game. But yeah, I'd lean play style. I don't think Kansas is going to need to or really be able to take as many threes as they want. UNC, obviously another good one. If you think that's going to be a shootout, that one has a good chance. But if you think it's going to be a little slower like I do, I'd look for either Duke just because it's how they play or Nova as a sleeper.
Nice. M squared, Bowman, any thoughts you guys have here?
I would definitely look in the game that is projected to be 20 points higher scoring.
There we go.
Yep.
See, you know what? That's what I like about it, man. You don't have to overthink everything, right? Like, just find the good answer, run with it, go with it. All right, Bowman, coming over to you, man. You got one play college baseball today. Like this one, dude. What do you got?
Yep, one play today. We got Florida State at home -105 against Notre Dame. Florida State's now 12-4 in their last 16 games against Notre Dame, and they've won 5 straight series against them. The last time Notre Dame won this series was in 2015. Notre Dame actually won last night 2-0 in extra innings, but Florida State should have the pitching depth to overcome that. And Florida State's yet to lose a series this season, so I'm going to take the home dog here.
Nice. All right, a little home underdog. Here we go. All right, Jay Smooth, coming over to you. You know Saturdays, man. The Maestro spot on Saturday might as well be your spot. Like, I like you in it, and today is your day. And going through the picks page on Photoshop, you certainly owned it like a king. So, dude, I'm just gonna get out of your way, man. Break it down. What all you got?
All right, let's do it. It is basically like my Super Bowl. I've been waiting for this for a while. I'm going to start just by going game by game. So the Kansas and Villanova game, if you've been watching, you know I have a lot of stock on this Villanova team from early in the season. So I'm playing Kansas on the money line minus the 195. It's just worth it for my position if you have those tickets. I just think, Nova's going to have a tough time winning this game. Justin Moore is a huge part. We know they do not have the depth, and Kansas looks great. I think this one probably finishes around 7 or 8 points. Nova holds their own. The game stays a little bit right around that total they expect, maybe pushes the over, but I'm not touching the total. I like that. And then I think if it's going to, Kansas is going to win, they're going to break their team total. I'm going to go over the 68.5 there. I do think they'll get to 70, but I think it's probably like 70-63. Is my expected score on that game. And then the next game, the Duke UNC game, right? So we already said we're going to do the UNC +4. We're going to do the first half under 71, which you can get at Caesars at 71. Try to get that 71. Don't do 70.5. It's a big difference. And then we're going to play one more thing here. We're going to put 0.2 units on the game to go to overtime. If you go look at the stats, if you try to look at the historicals, these teams don't go to overtime a lot in their last meetings for the last 20 years, but that doesn't scare me off. These teams are tight. This is like a crazy, game of destiny. It would only be fitting. I love the +950. I think you can find a little bit better out there. For whatever reason, New York has some weird things around that game on FanDuel, but whatever. Anyway, then my last two things that I'm going to talk about today are 2 same-game parlays. We're going to have a little fun. It's the Final Four after all. So we're going to do the first game. We're going to do Kansas to win, and we're going to take their team total over 65. That one's going to be -110, and then we're going to go in the Duke UNC game. We're going to take the first half. We're just basically juicing my picks a little bit here. We're going to take the first half under 74.5, and we're going to take North Carolina +9.5. I definitely think they're going to stay within 10. So I like both those same game parlays. It's a lot, but we're going to have a lot of fun, and I'll post a recap on Twitter too if you need it.
Look at you, man. Taking care of everybody. Got the recap. You'll post up. And look, like we said, tonight, the watch parties for both games, they're going to be fantastic. So for real, come up, dude. Sit down, watch a game, have a beer. Let's talk some live bets, man. Let's have some fun with that. All right, everybody, grab your paper, grab your pencil. Let's take a look at the recap. And I'm not going to say it's glorious, but it's pretty strong. I like the guys' picks here. Look, M squared. That's certainly a lot better than my Photoshop abilities. I assure you on that. M squared on Pereira -115 over Streelman in the Texas Valero Open. Jay Smooth on Kansas money line -195. Kansas team total over 68.5. North Carolina +4. North Carolina Duke first half under 71. North Carolina Duke overtime, yes, plus 950. That is at 0.2 of a unit. John Bowman is on Florida State college baseball, minus 105 versus Notre Dame. And then the side play, we're going to go North Carolina first half plus 2.5. And the two-piece today, I wanted to go an AB3, but look, there's just not a ton of options, and I wanted to keep it college basketball-wise. So we're just going to go with the two-piece here, a little humble plus 186. We're going to go Kansas minus 4, and we're going to go Duke on the money line. So it's about all the damage we can do for today. Let you get back to your families here on a nice Saturday morning, get you all squared up, ready to go for the Final Four tonight. Like we said, we're going to have watch parties for both games. So straddle up, come up, watch the games with us, put in some live bets. We'll have some fun. So it's all the damage we can do for today. Everybody, thank you so much. We will see you a little bit later tonight. Have a good day. Let's cash these bets.